Yeah, welcome guys. Today we want to talk about the poultry house construction, and there are some of the factors that we have to consider when we are constructing the poultry house. Now, poultry house is that a house that house poultry or house chicken. Now, there are some of the things as a farmer you have to consider before you construct the poultry house. Number one, the number of chicks that you have to keep. Number two, the ages. Different ages normally are being housed differently, maybe to control pecking and also a few cannibalism. Another thing that you have to look at as one of the farmer, you have to check the capital availability. Do you have the capital to construct whether big or small piece of the house? Now, another factor that you have to consider as one of the farmers is that the location and the weather. The orientation of this particular house should always be east to west, so that the chicks, there's some part of the chicks that they get what sun, so that they are not able to be affected by lack of sunlight and vitamin D. Now, the windward side should always be blocked so that the poultry are not affected by what? By the drought. Now, some of the structural requirement of this particular house, number one, it must have a foot bath. This one, it must have a foot bath. This one is just always to disinfect the food, so that one to kill the bacteria, so that you don't infect the poultry within the room. So that one is a requirement, so that at the end of the day you don't introduce diseases inside the poultry house. Now, this poultry house must also be spacious. It must be spacious for exercise. It also must be constructed in a well-drained structure. That one is to prevent dampness. Again, the poultry house must always be leak-proof. The roof must always be leak-proof. And again, that one is to avoid dampness. Now, the type of this particular house, we have the curtains. We also have the curtains. Now, these curtains, we normally take them up for ventilation. Ventilation is always for air circulation. But these particular curtains, we normally drop them in case of there is rain, there is windy, and all that, so that the poultry and the chicks are not affected by diseases and all that. So those are some of the factors that we have to consider, and the management practices that must be taken within the poultry house. The curtains, they normally provide warmth in case of rainy or windy. Now, this type of structure is called a deep litter system. A deep litter system, it is called deep litter because we have the litter within this particular house. Now, the litter can be used. The one that we have used here is the wood shaving. The wood shaving are always very important for us because the chicks are not able to feed on them because they are always larger as compared to sawdust. Now, one of the roles of the wood shaving or the litter, number one, is to provide warmth within the poultry house, and therefore number two, to absorb moisture within the poultry house. When the two are managed, when we have the warmth and also the moisture is also absorbed, then we shall control a few diseases that can be brought by such factors. Now, today,